right, what's up, everybody? Look, something is happening on the Bitcoin chart right now that is actually a little bit concerning, and I wanted to make a video for you all going over exactly what this thing is that is happening and why it does have me a little bit concerned. So, over the last couple of weeks, we've obviously been tracking Bitcoin's attempt to try to find some ground, right? We saw it absolutely nuke from $115,000 all the way down towards $80,000 over the course of just like 30 days or so. I mean, it was real nasty stuff. But honestly, over the last like 2 or 3 weeks, Bitcoin's not been in a bad place. It's been starting to see some sideways chop, some gradual improvements and increases towards the upside, setting in some higher highs, setting in some higher lows. And so all in all, since November 21st, November 22nd, things have not been that bad. But as the structure has been forming and as Bitcoin's price has been trying to create this recovery, I've told you all one thing very, very clearly. I said, as Bitcoin's trying to recover, do not get excited until it breaks this green box. I've told you many times, this green zone between $93,000 and $96,000 is the determining zone. While Bitcoin is below it, we are still at risk of capitulation to the downside. But if Bitcoin's price can break above it, things are in a much better spot, and we at least have a chance to start trying to push back up to say 107 or even $108,000. Well, as Bitcoin's price has been attempting to break through this green zone, something is happening right now, as I mentioned before, that is concerning me. And what this thing is the fact that Bitcoin's price is now creating what many people would deem to be a bearish flag. As you can see, Bitcoin is now officially put in this low, and this higher low, and then this high, and this higher high. And when we look at the linear patterness of this, you can see that we do have, of course, this ascending level of resistance and this ascending level of support. Now, many people would say, well, Tyler, this is a good thing, right? We have higher highs and we have higher lows. That's good. Well, by nature, sure, in the short term. But the truth is that in the midterm, these sorts of structures can actually be pretty damn dangerous. Because when you have a downtrend, meaning that the price is setting lower highs and lower lows, and then it has a short-term recovery that creates a linear uptrend, as we're seeing right now, this linear uptrend, it's actually oftentimes a little bit bearish. And what happens more often than not is that the price of this asset will then start to try to break towards the downside of the structure and continue downwards. Hence the reason why it's called a bearish structure or a bearish flag. Because bearish flags have a history of doing this, recovering, setting up the trap towards the downside for the liquidations, and then pulling back downwards. Now, this isn't a 100% success thing. It's not an absolute guaranteed thing, but based on historical performative data, this is about a 60 to 70% chance thing, meaning that Bitcoin has a 60 to 70% chance while it's in this structure of breaking back down towards the downside, with breakdown targets first at 83,000, then second at 80,000, and then possibly as low as $75,000 to complete the bearish setup. And so all in all, knowing that we are now entering into a structure that is creating a bearish flag while also stuck below this green zone of resistance, I am getting a little bit concerned that we might see Bitcoin's price start to break down again sometime even this month. Now, there are silver linings, and it doesn't mean for certain, again, that Bitcoin is about to do this. For example, if we do look at the daily RSI, we can actually see that we are building up some decent strength. Bitcoin's price came all the way back down towards the bottom side. It hit that 23 level, and it has been trending upwards, trying to break through that 50 point. At which point, I think, we could have an opportunity to move upwards. You look also at your daily Bollinger Bands, and we're doing a fantastic job at resetting these bands, which could open up the door for some sort of accumulation, or maybe even a reversal to the uptrend, just like we saw back here. Right? So we are seeing many indicators saying that Bitcoin could be bottoming and could be preparing for another move upwards. I mean, speaking of liquidations, look at liquidations. On the 30-day, there are still billions of dollars. We're talking up to $10 billion worth of liquidations just at $101,000, guys. That means if Bitcoin's price moves just back to right here, over $10 billion worth of liquidations are up for grabs. So there's a lot of incentive for Bitcoin's price to be able to make this move back upwards and be able to make that climb back up to $100,000. My whole point of this video is that with that in mind, we need to be very careful right now, because this sort of structure is very concerning. And although, yes, there is a world in which we push upwards, it is becoming more and more likely the longer that we stay here and the longer that we get rejected by this green zone, that we do end up seeing this capitulation to the downside. And so I'm under the belief that it is incredibly, incredibly important that you are very, very careful right now. How am I personally being careful? Well, I've done this in a few ways. As many of you know, I did have a long trade that was open on Bitcoin's price not too long ago. My average opening price was right around $88,000 and 10x leverage. I did go ahead and close down that long trade. I took full profits off that long trade at a 49.6% gain. And then what I actually ended up doing is I rotated the profit from this long trade back into a flip short trade, which is now currently up around 32 or 33%. So that's a way that you can obviously play this safe, right? Take some profits on your long trades and hedge that long-term bag with some short trades. And I personally am doing that over on BTCC. I actually will remind you guys that we are doing a really big giveaway. It started just 3 days ago, where if you sign up, deposit, and start trading on BTCC using my link down below, we're going to pick 3 winners to win $500 if you simply just trade Bitcoin, ETH, XM, Solana, or Sweet. So if you trade any of those, make sure to sign up to the link down below. You could get $500. And that's in addition to the up to $10,000 worth of rewards that you can get just for signing up and depositing. So there's up to $10,500 up for grabs right now with the link down below. Feel free to go check it out. Of course, as you can see, that is where I am personally doing my own trading. So I think you guys will enjoy it. But again, nonetheless, this is the way in which I am currently handling this. It's not saying, again, that I'm just going to sell all of my crypto bags because I'm scared that Bitcoin's price is going to nuke. No, I'm not doing that. Obviously not. But if I do have some short-term gains, or maybe if I have a couple long trades that are in some decent profit, yeah, it's probably not a bad time to de-risk a little bit right here and be careful. Now, I know for certain I wouldn't be taking on any super big long trades right now, not any without any stop losses set, that's for sure. I definitely wouldn't be doing that. But again, it doesn't mean that you need to be just selling everything and panicking, because there is a risk now that Bitcoin's price does capitulate. And so the main point, the point of the story here with this video is, listen, Bitcoin does still have a chance. There is still a world in which we do push upwards because of the incentive that the market is being offered right now through these liquidations. I think there's a world in which that happens for sure, but it's getting risky and it's getting very, very concerning right now because of the structure in which we are creating as we're trying to open that door of opportunity. So the best thing that you could do right now is be incredibly careful, de-risk a little bit. Don't go too crazy on any big buys right now until we start getting some more structural clarity. And then at which point, once we break this $93,000 to $96,000 resistance zone, then things will start to look much more on the up and up for us as Bitcoin price tried to venture upwards. So as Bitcoin's price does venture through this, what many would consider bearish flag, I'll keep you updated on as it plays out. The goal, obviously, and the idea would be hopefully we do break to the upside. But even if we do break to the downside, I'll be here with you every step of the way, updating you on exactly what you need to be watching out for and the moves that I personally am making right now. So I'll keep you updated there. And before we go, I do actually just want to remind you guys as well that I did post over on my Twitter page a couple days ago a massive thread talking about how you're losing a ton of money as a crypto investor and trader due to taxes. And if you do want to, of course, mitigate some of those losses, you can check out iTrust Capital, where you can actually open up a retirement account, which is what I personally have done to hold some of your crypto to mitigate those losses from crypto taxes. They have some absolutely fantastic bonuses over there right now as well. And you can get up to $100 just for starting a retirement account, which is a good idea financially. So it's like, oh, you can do something good for your future and get a bonus. It's a really good option there. So make sure to go check that out. And as I mentioned before, if you do want to trade, you can check out the link down below and go get into that giveaway. So there's a whole bunch of stuff there. Feel free to check out those links down below. And again, I will be here every step of the way as this plays out. Make sure that you guys do like and subscribe if you do enjoy the content. And I can't wait to see you all on the next one. Peace out, everybody.